Hello and welcome to the SACCO Insight podcast, where we are amplifying people's voices. My name is George Ombado, the Executive Director of ACCO. Welcome to SACCO Insight, where we are amplifying people's voices. The continent of Africa and the world is facing numerous challenges. Africa, particularly, a continent of 1.4 billion people, a median age of 19, at times might feel left out because the young people are not included. Today, SACCO Insight is pleased and delighted to have our first group of what we call the Gen Z, who are joining us on our conversation on what matters for them most, how the mentorship can happen to see that they help build systems within their communities. And we are picking this call all the way in Nairobi in ACCO Academy. And with me, there are three beautiful young ladies who have an amazing story around how the young people can work within this particular movement. And I'd like to welcome you all to SACCO Insight.
Thank you.
So I like us just to have a conversation on many things, but I'll first start. Who is seated there? Who are you?
Yeah, my name's Paige Macavina. I'm a student at The Ohio State University, and I'm in flight school training to be a pilot. Aviation, I just started getting into it, and I can't wait to start my future and hopefully become a great woman pilot in the future.
Great.
My name is Jada Walubiri, a Strathmore University student, currently partaking computer science. It's been a journey for sure, and I'm so excited to be a woman in tech now. And I can't wait to finally be able to understand the technicalities that go into technology and not just the basics.
Excellent. That is tech. So from pilot to tech. And yourself?
My name is Mia Macavina. I'm 19 years old. I study animal sciences at Ohio State University as well. After I get my degree, I hope to apply to vet school to become a veterinarian at a clinic. And I'm super excited for that journey because I've always loved animals.
Excellent. You notice this SACCO Insight has three young adults from different professions, from those planning to be on the plane, in the air, from tech, and now those who love environment. I'd like you to share with the audience briefly your story, particularly how you feel around mentorship and why mentorship is important to the journey that you are now in. I'll start by you.
Mentorship is extremely important, especially for our generation. It helps us with our futures. Mentors can provide advice for us, help guide us in making the choices that we want for our future. Overall, it's going to help our generation be able to make decisions that they hope will better our future. And specifically for myself, mentors have been super helpful for me, especially with my journey in education. It's helped me form what I want to do with my future.
Yeah, excellent.
Having someone go ahead of you who has already been in this position really helps the journey be a bit easier, and especially in a field like tech where it's very wide, finding what you really want to pursue can be a bit challenging if you're maneuvering it on your own. So having someone to hold you along this journey is really, really important.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. What they both said is that mentorship is very important because you can learn from someone both their mistakes and the good that they've done. so that you're able to change what you think you need to do to get to where you need to be. And then you could also be a mentor for somebody else, which is very important to teach the younger people of what your mistakes are and what you can do to make the world a better place in your profession.
So Paige, when you talk about a mistake, I almost have like goosebumps. And why am I having that? I feel the world at times people want to live in perfection. And when all of you talk about mentorship, it's key that you need people to support you through the process. And you recognize that you'll make mistakes as you grow.
Oh yeah.
But do you feel that you're being hard enough? Other people listening to you? Do you have truly mentors around you? And the reason why I'm asking that, because we have different generations. Do you feel the other generation, which is ahead of you, do they understand you that, Jada, that tech is key?
Yes, so sometimes it can be really hard to be heard and understood, especially by the older generation. They tend to not understand our perspective. They tend to term us as entitled. But I think it's just because we, Gen Zs, realize that we are supposed to take up space. It is our right. We have the right to take up space in rooms and be able to speak for ourselves, which can be a bit challenging and can be sometimes taken as being disrespectful. But I just think it's because we have different ways of communicating and how we say things. And also the older generation, it wasn't something common to have conversations, to sit down and have conversations with your parents. And I think that's something that they brought along as they parent us. So it would be really grateful. We would be really grateful if they would be more open to our ways of talking and communicating.
Okay. So my agenda is talking about one of the things I pick is the challenge of the other side feel you are entitled. Maya, do you feel entitled?
I would say that a lot of times our generation is deemed entitled. It depends on the relationship that you have with elders. I feel like there is that disconnect between our generations, which can be really unfortunate because we are the future in the workforce, and having relationships that are strong is really good to have because we are the future. So being able to have that relationship is super important.
And Paige, do you think that because when the assumption is people think the young people are entitled and you're thinking differently, do you think there's honest conversation with the older generation when there are issues? Are you able to articulate your issues without being judged?
Sometimes I do think it is a struggle that people are almost too nervous or too scared to say what they need to say to the older generations, but our generation should not feel nervous or scared. They should be able to talk and say whatever they feel or need to get across, because every opinion is valid, and it's very important to share that, and maybe the generations above will be able to take our opinions into account and change what they're already doing.
Okay. So I see the three of you as not just young adults talking in SACCO Insight or having a conversation. You're actually helping amplifying the voices of Gen Z. And very soon, you'll become mentors to other people. At a personal level, is there anybody that any of you can share that have actually made an impact in your life by mentoring you?
I personally have a mentor that I'm very thankful for. He's a doctor back at home in Ohio. His name is Dr. Lamb. He went through very similar footsteps with my education. He obtained his animal sciences degree and doctorate at Ohio State University. So he has become a veterinarian and he owns his own practice. And throughout my journey, he has inspired me and helped me make decisions. He has helped me. I've shadowed him. He's provided me a job at his clinic to gain experience, and I'm very thankful for that. And I hope that when I become in his position, I hope to do that for other students as well, because it has meant a lot for me, because my journey has been very scary, but it's helped me feel more content where I am.
I love that he's mentored you, but he's also gone beyond that to coach you. The fact that you're able to shadow, you're given roles to shadow, that you're actually coaching. Jada, yourself.
For me, I'd say my swim instructor from high school. She has been with me through high school and even right now in college. Before I joined university, I wasn't really sure what I wanted to pursue. I personally wanted to go into culinary arts, but it was a bit of a challenge with my parents because they thought, you got good grades. I don't think culinary arts is something you should pursue. So she advised me that I can still do computer science and still be a baker. And that is actually something I am doing right now. Apart from being in school, I also have my own business, and she's helped me know how to navigate both of them and be able to balance.
I feel like I've had a lot of different mentors growing up. I've had advisors at Ohio State that have helped me pick the route and what best suits where I would like to go in the future. Also, my parents have been there to help mentor me along the way and tell me what could be good, just talk out situations that would best be a good fit for me. And also my flight instructor, he's gone through the flight school and he's been with me for a while, teaching me and telling me what to do and what the best route is. So it's been eye-opening to get different perspectives from many different people.
You are here because you are somehow linked with the credit union movement. In other parts of the world, we call it the SACCOs. In other parts of the world, we call it the cooperative financial institutions. These are financial institutions that are empowering people at the local, community, and at any different level, and they're very inclusive. So I like my question to that is for you is, we often as a COSCA feel the young people are not included in the credit union, or we need to do more. What are some of the skills that you think the young people need to have to support, to get involved in the credit union movement?
I think some skills are just being more open-minded and to learn more about what credit unions are and what is going on in the world, and just being more open-minded.
I think we should be accommodating and also should be able to look ahead. I think most of us don't see ahead. When we get finances, we just plan it for now. We often don't see, okay, I can maybe put this money in an account and it earns interest, and in a few years I'll say I have more money in my name. It's a challenge because most Gen Zs want the now. They don't want to have to wait for the money to grow interest. So if there's a way that you guys can be able to teach the Gen Zs that it is an advantage for you to put your money in an account and let it earn interest, not just squandering all your money at once, it will be really helpful.
Okay. I think that confidence is very important for our generation. You shouldn't have to apologize for what you want to say. You should never feel afraid to share what you have to offer towards the workforce. And I also think a work-life balance is very important, because when you're able to find that balance in the middle, you're able to put your best foot forward and give and provide the best work that you can.
In a credit union or a SACCO in states, if there's an opportunity that the young person has been asked to step up and become a leader, will you take that chance?
I think that being a leader is very important, and having that opportunity to become a leader would be something that's very important to me. Personally, with my workforce, I would like to become a leader with leading possibly my own clinic in the future.
I personally don't think I would want to be a leader. Not that I can't lead, but I just think it's a big responsibility to take on, and for now, I don't think it's something I'd be ready to delve into.
I feel like maybe someday in the future being a leader would be good to help put out my ideas and help other younger people follow behind me and then eventually become a leader themselves.
Yeah, I like that. What you're saying is in terms of mentorship, maybe not being a leader yet. In fact, all of you are saying not being a leader yet, but with more mentorship, more coaching, you'll be willing to step up. SACCO Insight, where we are amplifying people's voices, the challenge at times we face in the continent and in the world is when we have the young people, we give them opportunity at times too early, or at times we decide that they're not ready even when we know that they're not ready, or at times we choose not to coach them or mentor them because we have a preconceived mind on what the young people are and what they are. These young people, for me, as a COSCA executive director, I call them the young leaders. And they're going to shape and contribute in shaping the credit union in many different ways. One of the things that I like to engage with you is being in college, just to think through the transition. Do you anticipate there could be challenges in between as you transit to become what you wish to be?
I know after I get my degree from college, it's going to be very difficult to go through the process of applying to vet school. It's a very competitive career choice. And once I'm able to power through that and get my doctorate, I think that I would need to gain a lot more skills. I will have gained a lot more skills through that journey, but to be able to possibly open my own clinic, I would need to gain more business aspect to it, so I would need to have a diverse range of skills.
For me, I think the biggest challenge will be the realization that no one is coming to save you. Because up until college, our lives were structured. It was school, home, assignments, friends. So as we grow, you have only yourself to make these decisions. You're the one who has to structure your day. You have to make the tough decisions, and that might be a bit overwhelming and isolating. So it might be really helpful to have someone who has been ahead of us to hold our hands and guide us. Tell us, in this situation, this is what you can do. In this situation, this is what you can do.
I would have to agree with Jada. Just the realization that you are going to have to plan out your own life and make your own connections, your own networking, your own living styles. You're just going to have to adapt, and it's just not going to be the same as college, which is a big step. And you're going to have to know how to deal with your finances, your work-life balance, and connections with your friends and family. It's just all going to be on your plate, but you are still going to have others to lean on, which is okay, but it's the realization that you are going to need to step out of your comfort zone and do stuff for yourself.
Okay. So for me, I'll still go back and say you are leaders. You might not think you're leaders, but you're already leaders. The fact that you're able to articulate the issues affecting the young adults, millions of them are facing the same challenges that you may be facing. You're actually amplifying their voices. How does your support system look like?
My support system has been my parents. They have been absolutely wonderful with providing emotional and financial support for me. They have been there for me when I need to talk to them about going through a difficult time, whether it's education related or maybe friend related. And I think that's really important to have those good relationships with your parents, because they were once in your footsteps and they were able to help provide you with so much advice. And I can't wait to eventually have my own family to give back to my children and do the same thing that they're doing for me.
For me, I'd say my biggest support system has been my friends and my family. My family has always been there to remind me of who I am when it seems like I'm veering off. When they notice that school seems overwhelming or I'm starting to lose sense of who I am, they always put me back on track. My friends have also been a safe space for me. We've talked each other through the tough nights, the self-doubt, the days where we feel like we really graduate. So it has been really helpful to have someone who's walking with me in the journey that is also in the same situation and understands. And I've also learned to lean into my faith in times of uncertainty. Sometimes you just need to talk to God. Sometimes there are just things you can't tell some people. So, yeah.
Excellent.
I would also have to agree with my friends and family. My family has been there my whole entire life and have led me to where I am today. So it's nice to have them to lean on and to ask for advice and support whenever I need to.
When some of us were growing up, we had different stress levels. And maybe our stress levels and the things that were stressing us 20 years ago might not be the same things stressing you today. which generally affects people's mental health. What are some of the things that you can point and say you faced a lot of anxiety, provided with a stressful circumstance, and what lessons did you learn out of that?
This past year in college specifically, I have struggled a lot with anxiety and stress with my schoolwork. There was a time where it made me unsure about my future, which is really unfortunate that sometimes stress and anxiety can make you feel like that. But I have found ways to talk about it with my parents, with many advisors. I made many appointments to talk with them, and I was able to take a deep breath and realize that I am where I am right now, and that's okay, and it's going to be a rough journey. It's not going to be a straight path, and it's made me realize that I'm still sure about my future, and it's important to talk about your stress and anxieties and find something that works well for it.
Okay.
Mental health is really something big, and I'm so grateful that right now it is something that can be openly spoken about. Personally, for me, I remember there's a time I was really struggling, and it took me some time to be able to finally open up to my parents, but when I finally did, they were actually very receptive, and they were even able to get me a therapist, which was really helpful to me. Through the therapy sessions, I was able to take up journaling, which has really helped me. Just being able to write down what I'm going through has helped me process my emotions, analyze my thoughts, and be able to make sense of what is going on.
So it's good to have stress and anxiety because it means that you care about something, but it's also good to have a way to relieve yourself from it because it's not a good feeling to have in the moment.
SACCO Insight. This episode is about the young generation. As parents across the world, we have a responsibility to engage, learn, and see that the young people's voices are heard, not just on their career, but to understand how they feel, how they should grow, and perhaps how they will become in the near future. I'd like you to provide a parting shot to the audience. And the parting shot will be in terms of if you are to ask the older generation for help, what kind of mentorship will you need from the older generation? I'll start with you.
It's just nice to have people to come to you instead of our generation coming to the older generation. It's nice to have a good open communication with them. So I guess all I'm trying to say is I wish the older generation, it would be awesome for them to reach out to us and share their stories with us.
What we would like as the younger generation from the older generation is for them to be real and raw, for them to give us real mentorship, not just career tips or just work hard speeches, but for them to have the honest conversation with us. Tell us about the mistakes you faced, the mistakes you made, the challenges you faced, because we are all just trying to maneuver and figure ourselves out in a world that moves so fast, yet we feel like we're expected to already have it all figured out. And also in terms of sponsorship, it would be really helpful if they could recommend us, mention our names in rooms that we have not yet entered, because that would be really helpful.
I think what Jada said is very important, and it is critical to be able to be real and raw with us. It helps us with our future as a generation because our generation is very different from generations above and below. So it's critical to form relationships with all generations because we all exist in the world today. So it's super important to have those relationships because in the end, it's all going to help us with our future. And I think our generation needs to realize that not everything should be a competition. That's the sad part about today's world where everyone feels like everything is a competition. You are where you are and that's okay. You will get there eventually and you just need to be present in the moment and focus on yourself.
Excellent. What a powerful way to end the Gen Z perspective. These are the young adults who are leaders. They are not leaders of tomorrow. They're actually leaders of today. The fact that they're able to speak on behalf of millions of young adults across the globe, this already makes them young leaders. And congratulations again for being part of SACCO Insight. We wish you well in your journey as you continue doing what you're doing, and we hope you'll also turn back your hand and give support to the rest. Thank you.